There has been a major twist in the future of Youssef Chermiti, with the Rangers striker attracting serious interest from Galatasaray. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Galatasaray made their move over the weekend, submitting a £22 million offer for the 22-year-old forward. That proposal was immediately rejected by Rangers, with the club making it clear that they were not prepared to simply cash in on one of their most valuable assets. The Turkish side's opening bid would have smashed Rangers' existing record transfer sale, which was set when Calvin Bassey left Ibrox for Ajax in 2022 for around £20 million. And that tells you just how significant this situation has become. Derek McInnes has already publicly backed the decision to reject the offer, making it clear that he is delighted Rangers stood firm and kept hold of Chermiti. But this is where things get particularly interesting. Reports coming out of Turkey have suggested that Rangers are demanding a staggering £34 million package before they would even consider allowing Shamiti to leave. However, the latest information suggests the actual figure Rangers would realistically consider is closer to £30 million. That is still an enormous amount of money for Rangers. And it creates a fascinating situation for the club, because while Rangers appear to be holding out for a huge fee, Galatasaray currently aren't willing to meet it. Sources close to the Turkish club have indicated that their valuation of Chermiti is capped at around €25 million, which works out at roughly £22 million. And crucially, they have no immediate plans to return with an improved offer. So, for the time being, the situation is completely stalled. Galatasaray have made their position clear. Rangers have made theirs clear. And Shamiti remains a Rangers player. But that doesn't necessarily mean this story is over. In fact, it could be anything but. Galatasaray had already identified Shamiti as one of several options earlier in the summer, but their interest has now clearly escalated to the point where they were prepared to put a major offer on the table. That means there is still every possibility they reconsider their position and come back with an improved proposal. And if they do, Rangers could suddenly be faced with a huge decision. Would they really turn down £30 million for a striker who has become one of the club's most valuable assets? From a footballing perspective, McInnes will obviously want to keep Shamiti. The striker is a player Rangers will believe can continue to develop and become hugely important to the team. But from a financial perspective, £30 million would represent an extraordinary return. It would completely rewrite Rangers' record for a player sale and provide the club with significant funds to reinvest elsewhere in the squad. And that is perhaps the biggest reason this situation is worth watching. Rangers cannot afford to make the same mistake they have made in the past by holding on to a player when his value is at its peak, only for that valuation to drop later. Alfredo Morelos is the obvious example. So while Rangers are absolutely right to reject a £22 million bid if they believe Chermiti is worth considerably more, the situation could change dramatically if Galatasaray decide to push towards that £30 million mark. For now though, there is no second bid coming. Galatasaray have drawn a line in the sand at around £22 million, while Rangers appear to be looking for significantly more. The big question is whether either side eventually blinks. Because if Galatasaray do return with a bid approaching £30 million, Rangers could suddenly have a massive decision to make over the future of Youssef Chermiti. Before we get into our next story, if you are enjoying today's video and you would like to see more and stay updated with the latest Rangers news, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. Thank you, let's get back into the video. Rangers have been dealt a potentially significant double blow in their search for another winger, with two players who had emerged as possible options now looking increasingly unlikely to arrive at Ibrox. Derek McInnes has already added Daisuke Yokota to his attacking options, but the Rangers boss has made it clear that he wants further reinforcements out wide. And the latest developments suggest the club may now have to go back to the drawing board. The first setback comes in the pursuit of Faris Gedjamis. Rangers had been interested in the Frosinone winger, but it now appears that the Light Blues have effectively been priced out of a deal. To make matters worse, AS Monaco appear to be leading the race for the 23-year-old, making an Ibrox move look increasingly unlikely. And if that wasn't frustrating enough, Rangers have also suffered another setback involving a player who will be very familiar to supporters. Václav Černý has been heavily linked with a return to Glasgow following his previous spell with the club, and there had been suggestions that Rangers could look to bring the Czech international back on a permanent basis. However, that possibility now appears to be fading. Sports Digitale journalist Serkan Dikme has claimed that Besiktas currently have no plans to part company with Černý this summer. Speaking on his company's YouTube channel, Dikme stated that there is currently no situation in which Besiktas and Černý are set to separate. That is a major blow for Rangers, particularly given how much the player is understood to be liked within the club. So in the space of a short period, Rangers have potentially seen two attacking targets disappear from their list. Gedjamis because of the financial demands involved, and Černý because Besiktas appear unwilling to let him go. But this is where things could get particularly interesting. Rangers still need another winger, and with McInnes wanting the position addressed sooner rather than later, attention could now turn towards PSV's Kyle Driełek. Driełek appears to be a priority target, and unlike the situation with Černý, PSV are reportedly open to selling the player this summer. However, Rangers could face another major obstacle. Celta Vigo are also interested, and the player is believed to have a preference for a move to Spain. That could prove decisive. La Liga offers a much bigger platform than the Scottish Premiership, and if Driełek has the opportunity to move to Spain, Rangers could find themselves facing a very difficult battle to convince him that Ibrox is the right destination. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.